Hey, good evening, everybody. Waiting for everybody to join in. We have a very special guest today. Hello, Shekhar. Hello, Tanya. Hello, Arna. Hello, Gitika. We have a very special guest here today. Uh, Today's session is about how can somebody improve courage and confidence. Hello, Tanya. So happy to have
Hi,
you
Savi.
here. Just to give a quick introduction about Tanya. So she is a life coach. She's a confidence coach, public speaking coach, and so many other things. She helps not just teenagers, preteens, but also mothers to control their emotions, to manage their emotions, mental health, public speaking, and it's a very, very long list. And I think it'll be better if Tanya, you can just give an introduction for yourself.
Okay,
Yeah.
thank you, Savi. And I would like to welcome everyone. Hi, Sindhu. Hi, Sachin. Thank you so much for taking your valuable time and coming to attend this live. So let me tell something about myself. I am a life coach. I'm a confidence, communication, and public speaking coach. So in terms of communication and public speaking, I help students and working women and also women to improve their communication and public speaking skills. But when it comes to life coaching and confidence coaching, I work on their internal growth. That is through improving their mindset, improving their thought process, and improving their belief system. So
Okay.
I feel very grateful to be working on the internal transformation as well as the external transformation. So, Savi, I would like to say that when I started my journey, I used to focus on the soft skills and the presentation skills and communication and all these aspects. But with time, I realized that those are they are temporary changes that come in a person if they seek my help. So over time, I realized that it is all in the mind. That once we start to gain control of our life by working on our mindset, the external changes are also going to be very long lasting. So that's how I work on the
That's
internal.
that's a very, very interesting thought. And yes, I do agree with it. Like I'm sure like it makes sense that okay, if you fix your mind, then only you can do something. If you mentally are not feeling okay, you won't be able to do anything. So on that note, I think a lot of our viewers, especially like I am new to this field, or I have no idea about how coaching works and what this field is regarding. So I had a lot of questions for you today to understand,
Okay.
like from a newbie's eye as to what this really is. So my first question to you is, what exactly is a life coach?
Okay. Thank you, Savi, for this question. And a lot of people have this question right now also as to what is a life coach. So, a life coach, I will divide this answer in four different parts. The first part is a life coach is that person who externally facilitates your change for future by working on your blind spots. So, for example, Savi, I cannot see my back right now. I need a mirror and I put it like this and I can see that in the other mirror. I cannot see my blind spots. I may think I'm perfect, but it is the other person who is going to tell me where I'm lagging and how can I improve. So similarly, when we are sailing through our lives, we feel confused. We have that lack of courage and confidence inside us, but we do not know that why is it happening and how we can identify, how we can solve that. So as a life coach, I help people to identify their blind spots, which they themselves cannot see because only the external person can show the other person the mirror. So when we help them to identify the blind spots, that's when I facilitate their journey as change in terms of growth and success in future. So we don't work on any past issues or healing the trauma or anything of that sort. We feel that anything that has gone has gone. All we have is the present and the future. So we work on improving the present and improving the future. One more thing, the second point that I want to say is as life coaches, we are not consultants or solution providers or advisors. And we don't give the gyan to the audience. What we do is we ask very thought provoking questions and right questions to the client. and then they are able to find their own answers to their own questions. So
Okay,
we help them
okay.
facilitate the journey.
That's very interesting. So, on that
Yeah,
note, I have another doubt. So, since you're saying life coach is a facilitator and it helps people identify their blind spot, then because especially in India, a lot of people, when somebody says that okay, consult a psychologist, it's considered like a taboo, right? So, how is a life coach different from a psychologist?
sure. That's a very nice question. A psychologist is a specific mental health professional who work on the past patterns or the painful problems of an individual by only focusing on the past. By removing, it is a problem oriented industry. Whereas life coach, they don't focus on the past, they focus on the future. So it is a solution orient. We provide solutions from our end and we work on the future aspect rather than the past aspect. Now, psychologists are trained mental health professionals. We are not mental health professionals, but that doesn't mean that if somebody is facing a sort of mental discomfort, they cannot come to us. They can definitely approach us. And with the kind of activities or the lifestyle changes we tell them, they're able to have that peace and again gain back the confidence and happiness in life. But yes, for very, very serious issues, Savi, sometimes even people are not able to identify whether they should go to a psychologist or a life coach. So when we go on a discovery call with the client, we understand what all things they are telling us and whether they need help of a therapist or a psychologist or a life coach. So I would say that as life coaches, we work on the future aspect
Got
rather
it.
than, you know, and
Got it.
also psychologists or mental health professionals, they deal with providing the dealing with the mental health issues which are some sort of trauma or on that on the scientific basis, while
Got it.
life coach help you to design your life, lead that lead your life in a fulfilling manner. For
Got it.
example, you might not be very unhappy in your life and you might not be struggling a lot in terms of your mental health. But if you still feel that you need help with loving yourself a little more or solving a certain relationship aspect, or in this particular area you feel that you're not able to make decisions and you're lacking that confidence, then it's not a serious mental health issue, but it is just about how you navigate life. So that's where the life coaches step into.
Okay, thank you so much for such a descriptive answer. And it really made sense that, okay, how these two professions are very different from each other. And we actually have a question from from our viewer, Sachin, over here. Ma'am, how to control on feelings, which is for the wrong person, while she's approaching you and crying and she being toxic, that's I know, but it's hard for me to avoid her.
Okay. Ma'am, how to control on feelings, which is for the wrong person, which she's approaching you and crying and she being toxic. Okay. Sachin, here you need to understand that if you're able to identify that that's a toxic person, then please set boundaries and do not be guilty about it. Setting boundaries, Sachin, is very important. Even a mother needs to set boundaries with their children, otherwise, children will take the mother for granted. So, in any sort of relationship, you first need to identify, take a sheet of paper and write down what are the various boundaries you want to set with that person. If they are invading your personal space and they are not respecting your time, your words, and whatever decisions you take, they are constantly poking you, then make a list. First, be very clear, make a list, and then tell them clearly. Communicate to them. Sometimes what happens is our behavior is such that the other person doesn't even know that we want to set a boundary. So we first need to be vocal about it. Once we are vocal about setting boundaries, the other person will know that, oh, that this person is not very comfortable with this and this is okay with them and this is not okay with them. So once you tell them what is okay with you and what is not okay with you, they will understand. So the right person will always understand, Sachin, but if they are taking time not to understand, then just give them space and time, and you can explain to them how, uh, you both not being friends together, how that is good for both of you in the long run. So that is one thing I would say. Set boundaries and communicate that boundary to the person, and be very unapologetic about it. Somewhere, some people think that we are very kind, we are very kind-hearted, we are very caring. We can't set boundaries. The other person will think very, bad. We'll hurt the other person. But boundaries are very important. Even a parent needs to set boundaries with their children, and even with our close family members, we need to set boundaries. So boundaries is for you to own yourself and to love yourself, and let the other person also understand that they are being toxic and they need to avoid you.
That's
And when you
that's
say, yeah,
that's very
okay,
interesting. Setting the boundaries can be for any relationship, right? In that case.
yeah, yeah.
Thank you
And
so
one,
much. I hope that answered your question, Sachin. We have another question from our viewer Aditya here. Can you please suggest a practical solution for task and time management?
task and time management. Okay. So where is the question? Who has asked this question? Savi?
Aditya.
Okay. Aditya, first of all, for time management, uh, be very sure about your why. Now, I'll tell from my personal example. I had a lot of to-do list, and for complete 1 year, I always used to say that I would get up at 5 a.m. in the morning, but it never used to happen because I would do a lot of work at night and I would sleep late. So the thing was, somewhere in my mind, I was telling myself that getting up early for me is important because my day runs on how I have my morning routine. But I was not following that. And then my time was not getting managed. Now I have improved. I'm not saying that I'm 100% improved right now. And I still struggle sometimes. But the thing is, when I struggle, I know that my why is not clear. जब आपको आपका वाई पता होता है कि ये काम आपके लिए क्यों इंपॉर्टेंट है, अगर ये आप करोगे तो क्या इससे अच्छा होगा और क्या नहीं होगा, और जो अच्छा नहीं होगा वो कितना ज्यादा कॉन्सिक्वेंस आपकी लाइफ में लेके आएगा, देन इन दैट केस जब वाई क्लियर हो जाता है, उस वाई को एक शीट ऑफ पेपर पे लिख लो एंड स्टिक इट समवेयर. वो आपके मिरर पे या जहां पे यू सिट रेगुलरली, इफ यू आर एबल टू सी दैट, every time you will keep getting reminded about your why. So जब why clear हो जाता है, so time अपने आप manage होने लग जाता है. अब time management के लिए there's one technique which is Pomodoro technique. So you can search about that technique and see how you have to do that. So basically अगर आपका कोई भी task है and वो suppose 1 hour या 2 hours में वो task complete होता है, so you can, without any sort of disturbance, you have to continuously do that task for 20 or 25 minutes. Then आपको फिर 5 minute का break लेना है, and like this 3 to 4 cycles आपकी चलती हैं. So that's how you give yourself time to reflect in those 5 minutes of gap when you take that break. But 25 minutes आप regularly उस काम पे आप focus करते हो. So आपको you can set alarm in your mobile phone कि 25 minutes तक I have to sit and I have to concentrate. And for 5 minutes again you take a break, then for 25 minutes again do, then 5 minutes take a break. So हम usually follow नहीं कर पाते हैं, तो always have a alarm clock with you where you can set that and be very clear about your why, and at the same time have a habit tracker. Habit tracker बहुत simple है, but कोई इसे use नहीं करता है usually. So अपनी डायरी को या एक शीट ऑफ पेपर को जहां पे आप अपना हैबिट ट्रैकर बना लो कि आपकी क्या क्या हैबिट्स हैं और किस हैबिट को कौन से टाइम में आपको कंप्लीट करना है. वो टाइम जब आप लिख देते हो, देन यू आर क्लियर, देन योर माइंड नोज कि ओके अब 5 बज गए, अब तो मुझे ये करना ही है बिकॉज मैंने वो शीट ऑफ पेपर पे लिखा हुआ है. तो जब तक कोई भी चीज शीट ऑफ पेपर पे नहीं आती तब तक वो इमेजिनरी माइंड में रहती है, और देन वी स्किप दैट. But once we write it, it becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. So start making that habit tracker and don't keep too many habits in a day. बहुत सारी नहीं रखनी है. Start with small. Get like 5 to 6 main tasks for a day and then complete them. After that, for suppose 1 week, you take 5 to 6 tasks and then you complete them in time. Now you know that you are able to manage time. Slowly you can take up 1 or 2 tasks and add them to your list. But be very careful that you write the time कि इस time पे ये करना है और अब ये करना है.
That's some very great advices. I am surely, going to remember this and try to implement it in my own routine. And with this, one question that was coming to my mind is, ki, theek hai, today we are doing a live and you're able to help people. But if, for example, after today, if somebody wants to get in touch with you, want to consult with you, how does that work out? How does anybody take a consultation from you?
Okay, okay. So for that, you can go to my profile. Like anyone who first you can follow me. I keep on sharing some content which I feel is valuable for the audience. And after that, if you feel that you require any sort of help, you can fill the form in the bio. You can always DM me, and then we get on a clarity call. So clarity call is always free of cost, and it is for like 30 to 60 minutes for 1 hour also. So my concern in the clarity call is to make the person feel very comfortable, that they are able to share their problem, whatever concern that they are facing, and it's a non-judgmental space. One, they get to know me, they get to see me, and they get to know that how I have designed my work process, and I get to see them. It's a mutual decision. So I believe that clarity calls or phone pe hota hai Savi. People usually in this particular field, they are very afraid of approaching the coaches, thinking, what will people say? But I would say don't think much, just get on a clarity call. It's a very non-judgmental space. And once we get to see you, you get to see the coach, you can then identify whether we are a right fit for each other. If you don't feel that it's not a right match, you can always, look for someone else. So always I think clarity call helps them to identify whether they want to go ahead or not.
That's great. I'm sure the viewers right now, Garima, Megha, Studio Aura, all of you guys, if you want to get in touch with her for a consultation like this, I'm sure the discovery call is amazing. I have personally gone on a discovery call was with Tanya, and it really did make me feel very good. But okay, so coming to my next question. So when you give your description, you are also a confidence coach, you're also a public speaking coach, you are also a communication coach. How did you come up with this combination?
Okay. So Savi, as I told earlier that initially I started with the external transformation, which is communication and public speaking coaching I used to give to students and to the working professionals. Then when I realized that these things work, but what is needed is a shift in the mindset. So especially when people come for communication coaching or for public speaking, usually they have a lot of fears inside. And one of the common fear is the fear of judgment. And that's very deep. For some people, it's very on the surface level, it can be solved without even coaching. But for some, it requires deeper coaching. So I feel that once we get to the root cause and we clear the issues from inside, we build the confidence from inside, तो बाहर की चीज तो अपने आप resolve हो ही जाएगी. So once I give them solutions कि ऐसे आपको communicate करना है, अपनी body language, verbal, non-verbal communication, stage पे क्या बोलना है, how to make your sentences and all of that. That will work. That will work for everyone. The only thing that some people struggle with is they focus on the external transformation, but they never focus on the internal. So external transformation भी फिर temporary रह जाता है. So that's how I've come up with this concept. And to add to this, I would say that जब भी हम life में कभी confuse होते हैं, whenever we are confused, like suppose मेरे को अपनी job change करनी है, and I'm not able to take decision. There was a time when I was working and I postponed that decision for 2 years. For 2 years, because I was constantly, day in and day out, I was comparing myself with other people who joined the company with me in the same batch, and they were very happy with the entire process. So when I went into that negative loop and I started comparing myself, every day when I would return home, and I would reflect back on the day, I would feel एक तो मेरे को अपना काम पसंद नहीं आ रहा. And now the thing is, I'm not able to take any step further because मुझे ये लग रहा था that what I am thinking is wrong. Becoming a trainer and coach is a wrong thing. ऐसा तो कोई भी नहीं कर रहा. Then why do I have that desire to be something which, if I discuss with my friends, they would say ये क्या होता है? What is this? So somewhere वो जो normal form होता है ना, when we follow everyone, so I started doubting myself. Then I thought that why I was not able to take decision because अंदर courage की problem थी. मुझे अपने mindset को ठीक करना ही नहीं आता था. I thought कि ये तो external factor है. अब तो I have joined my organization. Now तो I have to work for 5-6 years or for 10 years. Before that I can't take a plunge. I cannot make a career shift because nobody else knows ki what is a trainer, what is a coach. So for 2-3 years I kept on postponing and I kept giving myself false evidences कि okay ठीक है ये job छोड़ देते हैं MBA कर लेते हैं. But then after 2 years of attempt, I realized that even MBA is not for me because my heart, my calling is here only. I've always been very passionate about talking to people and helping them, and especially on developing their skills and personality. So I felt that that was a process. जब आप confuse होते हो, आपके अंदर confidence थोड़ा courage कम हो जाता है. तो उस that's why I've come up with this concept that everybody is facing some or the other issue, and that's a confidence or a courage issue inside जब आप कोई decision नहीं ले पाते. So I work on that and I help them, navigate their future life as well.
That's a very interesting combination. Like it's a very interesting combination that you've come up with, and I'm sure all your clients are, getting the benefits out of it. Definitely. We have one question from 30+1. Can you see the message?
Yeah. Yeah. I stutter while speaking. Anything you can say briefly, how to gain courage and confidence for people like me? Okay. Thank you for this great question. First of all, you are very courageous and confident right now, let me tell you, because you're putting this question out there. This shows that you have that courage and confidence. Okay, so stuttering is not a very big issue, and just take it with a pinch of salt. First thing I would like you to work on is your belief. बिलीफ एक ऐसी चीज है जिसपे कोई वर्क नहीं करता है एंड पीपल स्टार्ट टू फॉलो द एक्सटर्नल प्रोसेस. जो हमारा ट्री होता है, वी हैव अ ट्री, इट हैज रूट्स इनसाइड. तो अगर रूट स्ट्रॉन्ग है तभी ट्री सस्टेन करता है, एंड वंस द ट्री इज स्ट्रॉन्ग देन द फ्रूट्स एंड द फ्लावर्स आर गुड. बट अगर रूट में ही कोई प्रॉब्लम आ जाएगी देन द ट्री इज नॉट गोइंग टू सस्टेन फॉर अ लॉन्गर टाइम. सिमिलरली जो हमारे माइंड में जो हमारा बिलीफ सिस्टम होता है वो सबसे ज्यादा वर्क करने की जरूरत है. कहीं ना कहीं आपको ऐसा लग रहा है कि बाकी लोग स्टटर नहीं करते एंड आई स्टटर, तो कहीं ना कहीं आपके बिलीफ सिस्टम में हो सकता है. यू नीड टू वर्क ऑन दैट. सो सबसे पहले बिलीव करना स्टार्ट करो, और ये बिलीव नहीं करना कि इन फ्यूचर मैं कॉन्फिडेंट बन जाऊंगा या आई एम स्पीकिंग कॉन्फिडेंटली. फ्यूचर पे नहीं जाना है. अगर हम लॉ ऑफ अट्रैक्शन की बात करते हैं तो वहां पे यू फर्स्ट हैव टू बिलीव कि आपके साथ जो हो गया है, जो अच्छी चीज हो गई है, एंड देन यू स्टार्ट टू वर्क ऑन इट. सो जस्ट बिलीव दैट यू आर अ ग्रेट स्पीकर एंड यू आर मेंट टू spread your greatness in this entire world. Believe that you have already become that. और ये बहुत ही डीप प्रोसेस होता है. If you can work on, you can work alone, that's also great. So आप affirmations करो, बहुत सारे belief को बहुत strong करो. अगर किसी का belief system बहुत ज्यादा shattered है, वो 10 में से 0 पे है, then उसको 10 पे लाने के लिए बहुत टाइम लग जाता है. Sometimes it can take 3 or 6 months also. But for some people, the belief system is not that shaken. It's already at 8. तो 8 से 10 पे लाने के लिए ज्यादा वर्क नहीं लगता है. So first work on your belief. And the second thing I would tell you is that just speak. आप बोलो सबके आगे. Don't think that लोग क्या कहेंगे. लोग usually कुछ भी नहीं कहते. People know that ये जो stuttering का जो भी concept है, वो it is something which is out of your control. Right? So you can now take that in control and work on yourself. So nobody actually, some people think that the other person will make fun of me, but usually people are not that insensitive. So go to those places where you think people are mature enough and just go and speak your heart out. When people see, when the audience see that, okay, you're taking time to speak, they will allow you to speak. और जब वो आपको ऐसा एनवायरनमेंट प्रोवाइड करेंगे, आप फर्स्ट हैंड एक्सपीरियंस ऐसा लोगे जहां पे आप बोलोगे, देन योर कॉन्फिडेंस विल ऑटोमेटिकली बूस्ट अप. यू डोंट नीड टू डू एनीथिंग. तो आपको बस ऐसी अपॉर्चुनिटीज देखनी है अपने आसपास, वेयर पीपल आर सपोर्टिव, पीपल आर मैच्योर इनफ एंड दे गिव यू द अपॉर्चुनिटी एंड यू टेक दैट अपॉर्चुनिटी एंड स्पीक. चाहे आप 1 मिनट बोलो या 5 मिनट्स बोलो, बट कीप गेटिंग दोज अपॉर्चुनिटीज and the confidence will automatically come. So confidence ऐसा नहीं है कि कुछ magic होता है then आता है. You just take a step, you do something which is out of your comfort zone, एंड उसको कंसिस्टेंटली करना है, कॉन्फिडेंस आ जाएगा. एंड वर्क
Okay.
ऑन योर बिलीफ. या.
I hope that answered your question 30 plus 1. With that, on that note, I had another this thing. So this is for a particular problem that you're saying, but do you have some general hacks for people, for all of our viewers, that how can they boost their confidence or courage? Some general tips that can be valid to everybody, no matter where they're coming from, which age group they're from.
Yes, Savi, definitely. First thing that I follow to improve my confidence and courage. Now, I would like to say that if I'm a confidence coach, does not mean that my confidence doesn't fall. I'm also a human being, and I need that kind of internal motivation from inside. कभी कभी external भी चाहिए होता है. I also have my mentors. I have a community of coaches who support me. So I reach out to them whenever I feel low or I have any sort of issue. So the thing is, I keep my support system very close. And one thing that I work on is taking up a physical challenge. So I have seen that the days when I become extremely lazy and I give myself excuse कि आज तो बहुत काम है, you can't exercise or you can't walk. आज मत करो, कल कर लेना. So वो आज कल करते करते एक vicious cycle बन जाता है, and then my confidence goes down somewhere. Because अगर हम scientifically बात करें, the more we move our body, the happy hormones are released and that improves our energy level. So energy and confidence, courage directly related होते हैं. So always keep on taking up a physical challenge. अगर आप exercise नहीं कर सकते, I always say that go out, घर में मत रहो. Go out for a car ride or scooty ride, or just go out for shopping, yeah, for grocery shopping, or go to a temple, church, anything, but just go out of the house. Once you go out of your house, you see people. Even if you don't talk to someone, you see people. You start to feel something that yes, I have that courage, I have that confidence to face the world. So one thing, I keep it very simple, that take up a physical challenge. Then second thing I say is take up an emotional detox, and that is by not spending a lot of time on social media. So what happens when we mindlessly scroll social media, we get into the comparison mode. Subconsciously, our mind starts to compare ourselves with other people, and we don't even realize कब वो negative comparison एक vicious thought process में convert हो जाता है, and then our confidence goes down. We start to feel negative sometimes. So go on an emotional detox. जितना possible है, keep the screens away from you. Like for the learning purpose, that's fine, but see if you can avoid that and take up a physical challenge instead. The third point, which really helps, it's scientifically proven, is power pose. So what is a power pose? So first, like if I have my 2 feet, I keep them at a certain distance. Now these are my shoulders, so my shoulders are at this level. So I'll also keep my feet at this much distance only. Not like this, not like this. So shoulders का जितना distance है उतना ही I have to keep my feet, and then I keep my back straight. I pull my shoulders. I have to keep my shoulders straight. ऐसे shoulders bend करके नहीं रखना है. Some people they make a hoop here, so वो नहीं करना है. And then you can open up your chest, and then you take your hands and keep the hands on your waist. Now once you keep the hands on your waist, you can look above at the ceiling and say anything. Suppose if you want to become confident, you can say, I am confident. I am confident. And keep on walking in your house. Now, tell your family members, otherwise they'll say, what are you doing? So just tell them that this is an exercise or a power pose that I am doing. And it is really magical. For me personally, when I do the power pose and I stand at one place and I say I am confident or I am courageous or I can conquer the world or something like that, then it works. But sometimes it doesn't work. Then what I do is I keep on moving. I keep on moving while I look above and I make the power pose and I say my affirmations. So when we are moving, our subconscious mind is getting the signal that yes, this person is moving. They are taking the charge of their life. They are saying certain affirmations and I need to make that happen. So once you do that for 5 minutes and then you have to get on a call with someone where you were getting very nervous or jittery, you will see that your nervousness will reduce and confidence will improve. So you can work on the power pose.
So this power pose, how long does anybody do it?
There's no specific time limit to it. People can
Okay.
work as per their comfort. If
Okay. So there's no minimum or minimum time or anything like that for this.
yeah, yeah, it can be
Okay.
like 2 minutes or even
Okay.
5 minutes. I think five
So
minutes too, but
basically,
people.
it's just like then you don't even have an excuse that, okay, I don't have time to do this. Because looking at
Yeah,
the first tip, for example, people can say that, okay, I don't have the time to go out. But this is something which is just 2 minutes. So I'm sure everybody can do this.
yeah.
These are some amazing tips, by the way, Tanya, and I keep watching your content and I love the kinds of strategies you give me. The other day, I remember I was watching one of your reels which said that, okay, before sleeping in the night, look at yourself in the camera, and I think you said that say a particular statement for 10 times. And my immediate question when I like saw it, I forgot to ask you the other day that if like when I saw you explaining all of those things, and when I imagined myself doing it, I was like, no, but this would feel so awkward. Like for me personally, or maybe for some of the viewers, it would feel very awkward. Is it normal to feel awkward?
Okay. Savi, are you talking about the mirror exercise reel
Yes.
that I?
Yeah, like
Okay.
before the bed you said for 10 seconds you have to say something and something like that.
Okay, okay. So, for that, I would like to tell the viewers that a few days ago I shared a reel which was about improving your self-esteem. So, self-esteem is also a very basic thing that's not confidence. Self-esteem पे सबसे ज़्यादा work करने की ज़रूरत होती है and then confidence पे अपने आप work हो जाता है. So, for that, there's one technique which is mirror exercise. So, as Savi is saying, I told that you need to stand in front of the mirror and look yourself deep into your eyes for 10 seconds and then start to praise yourself. How do you praise yourself? You take your name. आपको खुद को ही देखना है, आपको अपना नेम लेना है, and then you have to praise yourself on your achievements, like जो भी आपके उस दिन के achievements थे. सेकेंड, आपने जो भी डिसिप्लिन फॉलो करा अपनी लाइफ में, सपोज आपको एक्सरसाइज करने का मन नहीं था बट यू डिड इट एनीवे, यू डिड इट, सो दैट इज द डिसिप्लिन. You wanted to eat a piece of cake but you didn't. Even your friend, you know, pestered you to eat it but still you said no. So that's a discipline you maintained in your life. तो आप अपने आप को अचीवमेंट्स पे, डिसिप्लिन पे आप अपने आप को प्रेज कर सकते हो उस पर्टिकुलर डे के लिए. एंड प्रेज योर सेल्फ होल हार्टेडली. And then after that, you have to say, I love you to yourself. And then again, look at yourself in the mirror. So, Sabi, your question is that it sounds awkward, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So, it is okay to feel awkward. For me, I never felt awkward, but everybody, whoever I tell this, they say the same thing that it's very awkward. First day, I just couldn't do it. And some people, they have lot of other reactions also in their body, like sometimes, the face just goes red or a sort of allergy develops, and so it is very normal if it happens. Now the point is that जब हमें कॉन्फिडेंस नहीं होता ना लाइफ में, दैट मीन्स हम अपने आप से प्यार ही नहीं करते. So most of the people will say, no, 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 I love myself. But the truth is we keep loving other people, but we really don't love ourselves. 100 में से 100 तो love नहीं करते, but maybe we are loving ourselves 50, 60, 70, 80 or maybe 99. और वो 1% कहीं रह जाता है. So when we are standing in front of the mirror and talking to ourselves and we are getting awkward and uncomfortable, that means we are very awkward and uncomfortable with ourselves only. So that means कि अब तो हमें आइडेंटिफाई हो गया है कि हम खुद ही से पीछा छुड़ाना चाह रहे हैं. So we need to accept it. We need to accept that awkwardness, and within 2-3 days it just starts to become normal. And if we do this exercise for 40 days minimum, it really helps to boost self-esteem. Because when I have worked with clients, I thought कि they will say ये तो बहुत easy है, ठीक है ये कर लेंगे. And they all were working professionals, like working in IT companies, and they told me ये बहुत difficult है. And then I realized कि handling their families and dealing with the pressure of the lives, they have just lost touch with their own self. And उनको अपने आप से बात करना इतना difficult लग रहा है. So, अपने आप को embrace करने के लिए, I feel that this is important. Embrace the awkwardness and within few days it will go.
Okay, that's amazing. I'm like there's so many useful tips that you've given in this session. I'm sure I'll try to follow them. I think we missed a message above. If you can just check a message from 30 plus 1.
Okay. Okay, my name is Abhinav. Will this technique work for a 27-year-old life, or is it only for someone that's speaking, facing the mirror as advised by few? Okay, Abhinav, so we are taking your question. Speaking in front of the mirror does help to a certain extent. बहुत ज़्यादा इसलिए help नहीं करता because again we are, if we want to improve our confidence in terms of speaking in public, then the best way is to go out in public, speak, make mistakes, and just do not bother because nobody actually thinks about the other person. Everybody's concentrating on themselves. उन्हें लगता है कि अरे somebody is watching me and I need to be perfect. और हमें भी यही लगता है somebody is watching me, I need to be perfect. So किसी को याद नहीं रहता है. Just take up the opportunity and see as many opportunities you get to speak in public. Um, Even if you're going out for shopping या कुछ भी है, just get little uncomfortable and do something out of your comfort zone by speaking. But yes, you can do in front of the mirror also. However, that is not really effective in the long run because there you are just seeing yourself. So for self-love thing, speaking in front of the mirror is good. But if you really want to face people, then take up opportunities to speak in front of people.
That's
And yes, it
that's
works. Yeah, just a
yeah,
minute, Savi
yeah,
said
sure.
that he's 27-year-old. Will it work for him or will it work only for teenagers? It will work for you. Abhinav, don't worry, work on your belief system. आप believe करने लग जाओ that you are meant for greatness and you are a fantastic speaker. बहुत सारे लोग इतना प्रैक्टिस करने के बाद भी नहीं इम्प्रूव कर पाते बिकॉज उनके बिलीफ में प्रॉब्लम है, उनके थॉट प्रोसेस में प्रॉब्लम है. सो इफ यू फील दैट somewhere you're getting stuck and nahi ho pa raha, then you can seek external help from a coach. Otherwise, you can work on yourself alone. Yeah. Thank you, Sabi.
Okay, that's great. And coming to my next question, so I was just wondering, so you usually deal with teenagers, or you said you deal with mothers as well. What kind of people do you usually deal with? You also mentioned that you had or have had people from IT backgrounds. What is your expertise, or who do you cater to?
Yes, Savi. So I work with preteens, I work with teenagers, and I work with women. But it is not that if somebody else also wants my help, then I will say no. It's not like that. The niche that I particularly focus on is women because when it comes to life coaching and working on making them confident, I feel that women these days are really hesitant about opening up, and they are facing so many challenges in their life that they just don't know कि उनको कोई हेल्प करने वाला भी है बिकॉज एज आई टोल्ड यू कि कोई बहुत मेजर मेंटल हेल्थ कंसर्न होने की जरूरत नहीं है लाइफ कोच को अप्रोच करने के लिए. सो दे फील कि हमें तो कोई ऐसा प्रॉब्लम है ही नहीं बट समवे दे आर स्टक. सो ना वो साइकोलॉजिस्ट के पास जाता है बिकॉज उन्हें जरूरत नहीं है. बट दे डोंट नो कि उनकी लाइफ को थोड़ा अच्छे से डिजाइन करने के लिए, एक लाइफ को फुलफिलिंग एक्सपीरियंस बनाने के लिए दे कैन रीच आउट टू अ लाइफ कोच. So I work mainly with women and with teenagers and preteens, but it's not that if somebody else will approach for any sort of help, then I'm ready to help them as well.
That's awesome. And so I'm sure, Tanya, after today's session, you're going to get a lot of queries because I personally took a lot of things out of your suggestions and I'm going to definitely implement them in my life. Before we end the session, I just wanted to ask you if there is any special message you would want for all our viewers today. What would your message be?
So my message to the viewers is based on a concept or a recurring pattern that I'm seeing these days. People don't want to invest on their personal growth, which is a very sad state of thing in our society. When it comes to working on their inner self, अपने mindset पे काम करने के लिए people make excuses. I don't have time, I don't have resources. But when it comes to spending on luxury items or maybe anything else, then so I would say that सबसे पहले खुद पे अगर आप invest कर सकते हो, the personal growth के लिए जो आपकी investment होती है, that is the lifelong investment. and that will give you a lot of returns. Because आप ही अपने आप की बेस्ट फ्रेंड हो, एंड अगर आप अपने आप से डील करना सीख गए, चैलेंजेस से डील करना सीख गए, अपने माइंडसेट को आपने एक यू हैव गिवन अ शेप टू द योर माइंडसेट, देन लाइफ विल नॉट बी वेरी डिफिकल्ट. Challenges आएंगे, no doubt. I'm not saying challenges will not come, but life will not be very difficult because you will know how to navigate them. So my advice to everyone here is that if you feel that somewhere you lie to yourself that I don't have the time, I don't have the resources to invest on my personal growth, then that's the biggest lie you are giving yourself, not to anyone else. जब हम खुद पे काम करते हैं, हमारा आउटर रियलिटी अपने आप चेंज हो जाता है. And I've seen this for myself. When I used to struggle with consistency or with the courage issue and not having the clarity in my mind, not able to take decisions, so I always was in a victim mode where I was blaming कि अरे external circumstances ऐसे हैं, मैं क्या करूँ? But the thing is, we can always do something because the power lies within. पर उसके लिए वो चीज सीखना भी जरूरी है कि पर्सनली खुद पे कैसे growth की जाती है. So that's my message to the people.
That's amazing tip. I'm sure a lot of us here will definitely take this up. And thank you so much for your time and for time and coming today for us and answering all the questions so patiently throughout. Thank you so much to the viewers for joining in the session. And anything else you would like to say, Tanya, before we end?
That's it from my end. I wanted to share a small story. So last month, I met a lady in an event, and she had 18 years of work experience. She told me about her entire work life and the kind of countries she had traveled to. She handled multiple work portfolios and an amazing career she had, and she was very happy with it. When we both were talking, she told me about it and everything, and then she asked me, what do you do? So when I told her about my work and I talked about the courage and confidence, she said that had I knew that there were coaches like this when I was growing up, I would have definitely sought help. And even now I feel that I need help with confidence. And I was very shocked hearing this, Savi. Because when I was seeing her, I was getting inspired by her, the kind of work she's doing and the kind of personality she had. She had depth in her voice. Her body language was very powerful. And the way she was communicating was superb. But then I asked her that, did I hear you correctly? You are saying that you still need help with confidence? She said, yes, I would like to improve it if I get an opportunity because it's a lifelong learning process. And that's when I realized that confidence is never a straight line. It is the muscle which needs to be built. तो जितनी बार हम जिम जाते हैं या डंबल्स उठाते हैं, मसल इंप्रूव होता है. पर जैसे ही हम छोड़ देते हैं तो कहीं ना कहीं वो स्टैग्नेंसी आ जाती है. So from her conversation, I realized that she had that curiosity mindset to keep improving 1% each and every day. So I got inspired by her, thinking that if she at this particular age is saying that she needs that confidence or she needs somebody to just guide her, then even I need to bring that approach when I reach that level, because we can never be 100% confident and we can never be totally underconfident. We can always somewhere sail in between, and we constantly need to work on ourselves. So that was a very inspiring thing that I learned, and that's why I thought I'd share with everyone.
That's a very interesting story indeed. So thank you so much again for your time and for joining in today. Thank you so much to all the viewers. In case you were not able to join in time, you can watch the recording after the live session and you can watch it later on our profiles. Signing off for now, Savi Barolia and Tanya Bhatia. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Savi.